Hi guys, happy Sunday. Today's video is going to be a quick little rundown of commonly used words in the world of narcissistic personality disorder and borderline personality disorder. Being that that's what this channel is going to be focused on, centered around, with also addiction, you're gonna hear me use these words a lot and you're gonna need to know what they mean. So I'm gonna give you a quick little rundown of what these words mean. So the first, and I'm sure you've heard them a lot. Some of them I'm sure you've heard a million times before. And a lot of them I feel like people don't know the exact true definition. And I'm going to give you the most accurate definition possible as far as I'm concerned, because I just kind of feel like when you look for the definitions of these words, sometimes they're different. But so as far as my videos go and on this channel, when I use these words, these are to me, these are what these words mean. And the reason why I say that is because trauma bond is my first word, and I feel like people have different definitions of what that word means. So I'm going to give you my interpretation of what these words mean. So trauma bond. A trauma bond it's not a bond that you have with someone because you went through trauma together, or you have shared past drama, like your mom treated you like shit and my mom treated me like shit. That's not a trauma bond. A trauma bond is when a person manipulates you and conditions you in a cycle of love bombing and devaluation. So basically they build you up to tear you down. They build you up to tear you down. And they also have isolated you from people so bad that, it's the weirdest thing ever, because they're the person that's putting you through pain, but they're the person that you want to go to for comfort. They're the one that gives you the comfort that you need when you're in that pain. So a trauma bond to me is when a manipulative person puts you in a cycle of idealization and devaluation, building you up and breaking you down, while also isolating you so that they're the one that's hurting you, but then they're the one that's soothing you. So that's a trauma bond to me. A trauma bond is an addiction. Do not get it twisted. It is not, that doesn't mean you're fucking soulmates. It doesn't mean you're fucking twin flames. It means you are addicted to a person, a highly manipulative person. And it kind of makes me think of like Stockholm syndrome, where like you get feelings for your captor. I'm not going to get into all that, but that is my understanding of a trauma bond. So when I say trauma bond, that just know that that's what I'm thinking that it is. And I'm pretty sure that's a damn accurate definition. Okay, so next one is love bomb idealization. And that is pretty self-explanatory. That is when they build you up, put you on a pedestal, tell you everything that you want to hear. And it doesn't have to necessarily be material things. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that they're buying you stuff, showering with you with gifts, taking you places, stuff like that. It does not mean that in any way, shape, or form that they can build you up, make you feel good, make you feel like you're on a pedestal, like you're the center of their universe, you're their soulmate. So that's love bomb idolization. And then after that, we have devaluation, which comes after the love bomb idealization phase. And that's pretty self-explanatory as well. That is when they tear you down. All of the good things that they told you are out the window. You're not any of that anymore. You're a piece of shit. You're the worst person in the world. You're a demon, basically. So yeah. Then discard, which is they throw you away, pretty much. And it doesn't always mean that they discarded you. You can be the one that does the discard. And this can happen at any point in time. A certain amount of time does not have to pass from first meeting to first discard. You can do it, they can do it. And yeah, discard just means that they basically throw you away for the time being, because there is such a thing called the final discard, and discard and final discard are not the same thing. Final discard is the final discard. Self-explanatory. I don't have that on my list, but okay. So the next one is Hoover, like the Hoover vacuum. Hoover is after the discard, whether you did it or they did it, they will come back to try to suck you back in to their manipulation cycle. So, expect to get hoovered. Expect to get calls, messages, emails, pop-ups at your house or work if they can't contact you in another way. But yeah, Hoover was named after the Hoover vacuum because they try to suck you back in, and it works. It truly works, especially the first time. Depending on you. But if you were in that relationship to begin with, you're already not aware, so most of the time the first few Hoovers will work like a fucking charm. And a lot of times you really won't, like, you don't even, when it's happening, you don't even realize what's going on. Like, you'll think to yourself, like, because they'll Hoover you, and a lot of, sometimes they'll start, like, to try to, like, love bomb and idealize you again, to get you back in. So you'll think, like, oh, you know, like, they're sorry, they're gonna change this, that, and the other thing. But at the same time, like, did they ever actually even say the word sorry? And did they say the word sorry coupled with the reason why they're sorry? Because you could say sorry, but, like, okay, why are you sorry, though? Like, let's be clear here. So that's a Hoover. Gray rock. Gray rock is when you act like a gray rock. And it's so funny, I'm wearing a gray shirt. I am a gray rock. Gray rock is when you literally act completely emotionless. So the gray rock method would typically be used when you can't go no contact. Like, if you have kids, if you're going through divorce proceedings, if you're going through, like, if you've had a business together and you're trying to get all that shit settled legally. Gray rock is when you still have to communicate with them. You communicate with zero emotion possible, because that's what they feed off of. Your energy, your emotion, positive or negative. Probably the more negative, the better, honestly, in my experience. Negative energy fed him full. Positive energy just didn't do it for him like that. That's just my particular experience with this type of person. But okay, so there's gray rock, and then there's no contact, which no contact is complete no contact. And that doesn't mean that you're not communicating with them. It means no contact at all, period. Like, your eyes are not making contact with the sight of them or anything that has to do with them at all. No looking at pictures, no looking at text messages, no listening to songs, no listening to voicemails, None of that bullshit. No contact is like, they do not exist anymore. Get it all out. Get it all out the fucking window. And also, obviously, I do not understand people that are attempting no contact and do not have these people blocked on their social media. Like, if you, especially when you're first starting out no contact, like, you should be off of social media. Like, forget about blocking. Like, get off of it. That helped me a lot. Like, just completely deactivating, deleting, getting the fuck out of there. Rumination is the next one. Ruminating is when you are stuck in the negative thought cycle. Like, you keep just like thinking about the past, like what ifs, like shoulda, coulda, woulda, like I shoulda did this. What if I did this? Like, also when I say rumination, like if I say I'm ruminating, like, I don't know if this is accurate or not, but in my head, this is what I think. When I think rumination, I think, it's me thinking back and romanticizing the relationship. Like just sitting there and thinking like of all the good times and just staying stuck in that. And I don't know if that really makes sense, because from my understanding, rumination is when you get stuck in a thought cycle, like, and it's negative thoughts, where like romanticizing is not negative, but it's taking negative and trying to make it positive. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but ruminating is when you're stuck in a freaking mind loop that you cannot get out of, and it's a negative one. It's not a positive one. It's not helping you, you know? So that's rumination. Flying monkey. Flying monkeys are the people around the narcissist that do their bidding, that do their spy work, that just are like little minions to them. So the flying monkey doesn't even necessarily have to get along with the narcissist. Like, it could be their parent or sibling that they don't even get along with, that just because it's their parent or sibling, they'll take the side of the narcissist. And like, if the narcissist is like, oh, let me use your Facebook to go spy on this person, like, and that's why I say just get off of social media. But like, they'll do it, you know what I mean? Even though they know that this person is toxic and not doing it for any good reason at all, they'll be like, oh yeah, here you go. That's a flying monkey. And sometimes they will even reach out to you and try to like act like your friend and get information. Sometimes it will be completely different, and they'll reach out to you calling you names and spewing out all of the fucking smears that the narcissist spread about you during the smear campaign. I don't have smear campaign on this list, but this video is getting kind of long. We're at 13 minutes, so I might do a part 2. So that's flying monkeys. The next one is supply, and supply is just the people that give them the emotional energy that they need as the emotional vampires and the energy suckers that they are. They need supply, and it doesn't have to be a person. Supply can be a thing, or an act. It doesn't have to be a person. Most of the time, yes, it is people. But supply is one of the important ones, because it's what you are going to have to realize you are. That is like one of the biggest realizations you're going to have to make. You need to realize that you were not a person. You were supply. You were an object. So like right now I have this coffee cup and I have coffee in it. So let me take a sip. And I put it on the shelf because I'm not using it right now. And it doesn't give a fuck because it's a cup. But you're not a cup, you're a person. But this is what they do. And don't think that they don't have other supply. Now, like I said, it doesn't have to be a person. Their other supply can be something else. Like, for me, when I was put on the shelf, the supply that he used was meth. So, yeah. Supply can be anything that brings them joy. And I do it like that because nothing truly brings them joy. Okay, future faking. Future faking, self-explanatory. It is when they tell you all these things that they want for the future. A lot of the time it's going to line up with exactly what you want because they're going to mirror you, because they want you to be like, oh my God, this person, like our lives align, you know, like we have the same morals and wants and just overall life goals, you know? So they future fake. They tell you all these things that they're going to do in the future, and then they take 0 steps to do it. And the crazy part is that, like, you'll see the potential in them to be able to give that to you, because a lot of them are talented. A lot of them do have it in them to do these things that they say that they're going to do, but they just don't, they can't produce the energy enough on their own to have the motivation enough to do these things. You know what I mean? Like, it's just such a vicious cycle, honestly. And I truly do feel bad for people that are dealing with this. Like, and I don't mean people that are dealing with the narcissists. I mean people that are narcissists and people that are borderline, because, like, my head alone, being a normal person, is fucked up enough. Like, I can't imagine what it must be like to have all this too to work through. Like, no thank you. Okay, gaslighting. Gaslighting, people say all the time, and that one is like, okay, so gaslighting is not like when somebody is necessarily lying to you, because it's not. It's because a lie is a lie is a lie. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lie is something that, like, you can prove. Like, when someone does, like, when someone is gaslighting, it's like such a thing. It's so, this is why I hate it so much, because it makes you feel like you're fucking crazy. Legit fucking crazy. Like, something can literally happen right in front of your eyes, and they will tell you, no, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. That's not, and yeah, technically that is a lie. I should have wrote it down because I had such a good fucking example, and it was when I laid down to go to sleep last night, and I should have wrote it down, but I was like, no, this is such a good idea, I'll remember. And I didn't. But yeah, gaslighting is when, like, something happens, and when you go back in your memory and you know exactly how it happened, but they try to twist, like, the littlest thing, so it makes you, like, legit question, like, well, maybe it did. So then over time, doing that over and over and over again, it makes you question yourself. Like, what the fuck? Am I crazy? Like, am I crazy? And I've been at that point. I have been at that point, and it is truly fucking confusing. So gaslighting is like, I would rather someone just straight out lie to me than gaslight me. Honestly. And the last one that I have on here is reactive abuse. And reactive abuse was something that I am very guilty of, because I was in this relationship for years, taking this abuse for years, and everyone gets to their breaking point. And I'm not saying that it's right, but when a person is pushing your buttons and pushing your buttons and pushing your buttons, and you're so isolated, like, you feel like there's nothing you can do, you know? So, like, you'll be abusive back. You'll kind of start turning into a narcissist yourself, and be just passive aggressive, like in the answer that I was reading yesterday, like how he was saying about how you'll just be angry all the time and, like, not know how to express it, and you'll be, like, passive aggressive and shit like that, and that's all towards the narcissist that has been abusing you for so long that now you're, like, abusing them back. But it's reactive abuse. It is still abuse. Like, if you're at that point, it's like you're really in it, you know what I mean? Because then that's taking you completely out of character. Like, when I got to that point where, like, there was reactive abuse coming from me, like, I did not like the person that I was at all. And I'm just so grateful that, like, I realized, you know, because a lot of people don't. And when I was in the thick of it all, and, like, really going through it back in early 2023. Like, I was going through it. I just thank fucking God that as bad as it was, I never wanted to make an attempt on my life. And I truly thank God for that, because that is a real thing. Because this shit is not a joke. And I just honestly kind of can't stand how it's so mainstream now, because it's so mainstream, I feel like people aren't taking actual survivors serious, because everybody's just fucking talking about it. But if you've been through it and you see someone else that's been through it, we can fucking recognize each other. So like, you can study it and go to school and get degrees and all this shit, but unless you have been through it, you don't truly know what it's like. So I try to make the videos short. I do talk fast, so I don't know how we're at 21 minutes. I am sorry, but that's my list. I'll probably have more to add to that over time. I'll just add it into videos that I do. But yeah, now that you guys know the basic Lucia definitions of the commonly used terms, now we can move forward and I can say these words and you know what I mean. So, anyways, tomorrow's Monday, guys. Have a good week. Bye.